Welcome back. Picking up where we left off, I have a plan for today. I am going to take the Chevy and pick up these last two observation towers here in Black River. Then from there, I'm going to head over. I might need fuel at some point, but I'm going to try to hit this upgrade. And is there another upgrade nearby on the map, maybe? No. So hit that upgrade and then go pick up the International Scout 800 that was revealed through a previous tower that we opened up. So I want to get through all of that, and then I actually want to take the Scout back to the garage and see what upgrades I can do to it, and then take it to Smithville Dam to scout out that area a little bit before we start doing some missions over there. I kind of want to move on off this map at this point. And I previously had commented that I was not a huge fan of the Scout 800. I said, for its size and overall capabilities, it just seems like the downside of tippiness and stuff was too much. But I haven't used it a ton, actually. And, I like the look of the vehicle. So I'm going to give it a go. I kind of had complained about the Chevy for several episodes and then used it for the last couple episodes and ended up liking it. It worked better than I had, recalled, I guess. So let's get going here and see if we can unlock a couple of these things and get over to the dam in this episode. I kind of want to start putting out a little bit longer episodes now that I've got some content on the channel, so that they're not, so I'm making a little more progress in the gameplay, I guess, in each episode. I got enough up there to introduce the channel, and people can watch some shorter ones to see if they're into the series specifically, or if they are finding that they like the channel or not. I gotta get out of the woods here before I can proceed. But yeah, so some of the first videos have ranged anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, and I'm not saying I'm going to go a ton longer, but I'm definitely going to produce a few longer videos here now going forward so I can have some more progress. So it does look like we are already down to 35 liters. I didn't realize that. I had forgotten that I kind of ended the last episode picking up, I think that was an upgrade at the spot we were just at, if I recall. Or maybe it was unlocking the final pump, I forget. But we'll see how far we can make it, and if I get close to a fuel stop at all, I will, of course, pick up fuel. I don't know that I'm going by a fuel stop, actually, but I tend to need to look at the map a lot, which hopefully that doesn't bother people. But I tend to get a little sideways with the nav points, if they're not, it'll look like it's behind me, but it's really like a switchback that I have to follow. So I apologize for that. Yeah, again, the Chevy truck has not been terrible. And I know there is fuel and repair upgrades for this truck. I just don't know where they're, like, when they get unlocked, and I haven't looked back at the garage recently. I think we're at like rank 4. All right, let's see where we're at real quick, because I want to, oh boy, I want to take a right here. So I'll definitely be able to make it to that tower for sure with the fuel we have, but we're not really close to any fuel stations. So depending on what's up here by this tower, which we will try to make it to, we'll see how it goes. But I want to take a right here on the pavement and follow this around. I don't know if that road closed sign was for something we already cleaned up. I think maybe it was. Yeah, because we had previously cleared a rock slide here, so I think that road closed sign is a bit outdated. I've really been thinking about how I want to proceed with the game, because I mentioned previously that I want to be able to not get to a point where I have done like all of Michigan before I go to Alaska and Russia, because I may want to bring some of those vehicles back, and if there's like nothing to do here, because I've kind of done it all, that feels like it might be a little disappointing, to be honest. So where the heck am I? What is this? Is this where... Oh, boy. I came up... Did I come up the wrong kind of path again? This is going to be like a sheer drop. I can make it down there. I'm not sure if this is the best way to come about to this particular tower. It looks like there's a road right there that I probably should have taken, but assuming I don't roll over here, this works. Perfect. All right. So now the question is, on 28 liters, can we make it from here to this other tower? And, you know, the reality is, like, the scout vehicles, if you're not bogged down with mud, they tend to do okay as far as range. Let's see. I guess I'll go to there and then see what I can see. I did discover a new objective. Doesn't look like it revealed any upgrades necessarily. The other thing is, depending on how much I want to continue using the Chevy specifically, I don't think the diff lock upgrade, I don't think is on this map. It's in Michigan, but it's not in Black River where we're at. I think it's actually in Smithville Dam. So if I can get over there and start to scout around a little bit, and like I said, I'm going to take the International just to give it a shot and to give a little variety to the series. When I was playing through, and if I was just doing my, you know, a solo playthrough for myself, I would definitely probably try to, like, get the most OP trucks as possible just to, like, have fun. But I feel like that could get really boring for anybody who wants to watch this, to just, like, head straight to Russia and pick up, like, the 6-wheel tanky thing, or 8, I think there's like an 8-wheeler over there. It would probably just... could play Michigan with like one hand tied behind your back with that truck, I think. So I'm going to avoid doing that, but I'd like to play with a little more variety. Okay, so if I go up here, and then this is the tough part when the map's closed off. So it's like, I mean, the tower's this way, but that doesn't mean that there's not a path that like loops around here. And I don't know until I start to uncover more of the map. But we'll give it a whirl. I am really, really excited for the potential for additional DLC for this game. I know that in this playthrough, as of, you know, this video being recorded, that I have a lot left still. I understand that, but I think it's great that there's... I just like this game so much, so... Alright. So once I get up around the corner here to the nav point I set, I'll take a peek at the map again and see... Oh, there's a rock slide here. Oof. Yeah, I'll take a look at the map again real quick here and just see if I can now kind of spot... Okay, so yeah, this is doable. So we'll turn off here, head up here, over to here, and then we should be able to make it to the tower. So we should be able to hit both of these 22 liters. I think I had like 28 when I left the other tower, if I recall. So, like I said, as long as you don't get bogged down and stuck with a scout truck, you have pretty reasonable range. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to make it over to that one upgrade part and then the International Scout that I was going to... Another tower unlocked. Look at this. I wish you could kind of do a drone view or a bird's eye view of... Not like that. That's just the camera wigging out. Kind of do a flyover of the area, that would be really cool. Alright, I had to recover back to the garage. I just had nowhere near enough fuel to even come close to making that last bit that I had mapped out. So I came back to the garage. I made a few modifications to the Chevy, including a paint job, but I also have the small rooftop rack that is a small amount of repair supplies and a small amount of extra fuel. Since I'm scouting with this vehicle right now. It's not a ton. I don't know how much that is. 2 little gas cans. I don't know if that's like 40 liters or something maybe. There is, I think, kind of a standard I've seen based on like the number of fuel canisters is not just like an arbitrary number or just based on like the aesthetics. It actually, I think, equates to how much fuel it is. So we'll see what it is later. But I just recovered to the garage. We'll drive. We got to go over basically through to town. So past the farm here, across the bridge. We'll stop at the gas station and fuel up. And then we head into town, and then we head kind of, after you're heading to town, you go kind of like left and go up in the hills. And there's an upgrade up there, and we'll grab that. And then come down and then go get the Scout. And then take that back to the garage and figure out how we want to kind of kit it out, and then go to Smithville Dam. Which, although, okay, I say that, but the entrance to Smithville Dam is over by the Scout. And I think there's a garage in Smithville Dam. So maybe it makes more sense just to come down the hill and go to the dam. I think that's probably what we'll do, and try to unlock the garage over there as quickly as possible. And we can do any upgrades to the International Scout over there at Smithville Dam. We'll see. I think that's what makes the most sense based on where that truck is. Alright, heading over the bridge here. Yeah, I still never went back and looked at the previous video to determine if I went after this upgrade or if it was a different one that was up in the hills. Because where it's at is up here. And I thought there was like an upgrade in this area, and that's where I like rolled the con over, and maybe there was one, maybe there was, and it was right there, and then like one over here somewhere, because I went after 2 upgrades, and I think this is where I had a problem with the rollovers. So this must be a different one, and I am just crazy thinking that I already went after it. Nothing terribly new there, I guess. So we're down a little bit of fuel, enough that I'm going to stop and fill up, but I think when you have a truck with fuel canisters like this on it, I believe if you've used some and you fill up, it fills up the canisters. So I'm actually going to stop and check really quick, because that would be, I think that's the case anyway, but that would be useful information to know for a fact. So let's do this. So we're going to hit refuel. And we want to go source, small roof rack, and target is the Chevy. So we've got, yeah, 40 liters. So we've got 22 out of 40 now. Okay, so you have to fuel it up separately, I guess. So that's good to know. It doesn't just like auto fuel up. I thought maybe it did, so that is good to know. So you don't need to worry about using it, I guess. If you need it, you use it, because you can fill it up at the fuel station. It's not like you have to go back to the garage to replenish those rooftop kits. Now for the repair parts, you do. That would actually be an interesting dynamic for the game too, is if there was like a repair center where you could go repair your truck that's like not the garage, or you could like refill a repair trailer, but it doesn't work like that. That'd be kind of cool though. So if you use up all the repair points, the only way to restock on repair points is to go back to the garage. It would also be sort of interesting if fuel cost like something, even something small. That would be, again, I've talked about if there was like a extra difficult mode that they released in the future, that could be one of the things they would do. Alright, let's see if we can get up here, unlock this scout, and see if I can do something with it, just for a little variety. It's sort of like a cube. Like, if you haven't played the game and you haven't seen this vehicle yet, it feels like it's taller than it is wide, and it's not very long front to back either. And it's got like tiny, relatively tiny tires, I feel like. So not a lot of ground clearance. And the thing with ground clearance too, okay, so here's the upgrade. The thing with ground clearance is, all right, ooh, this is an engine upgrade for this truck. I don't know if, so this is the 5.2 custom. I don't know if that's the highest engine option. We'll have to see. All right, now where do I go from here? Anyway, what I was saying is there's kind of two aspects to ground clearance in real life, right? So, and I'm assuming the game, you know, kind of models this as well. So you have how high the distance is from the ground to like the underside of the body. And then you also have how high the distance is from the ground to like the is this a path? Is this where I'm going? How far it is from the ground to like the underside of like the transfer case, or like the pumpkin they call it, right? That, so, and those are different. I mean, if you put a big lift kit on a truck, you're lifting the body up off the ground, but you're not lifting like all the underpinnings, like the chassis, the frame. You're not lifting that off the ground. In order to get that higher up, you need to get bigger tires, and you basically gain like half the diameter that you've added, right? So if you go from like a 30 to a 33, you're going to get about 1.5 inches of extra distance. And so part of the problem I think that I had with the Scout when I first acquired it in my original playthrough is the tire diameter is so small, it feels like, that you just don't have enough ground clearance from that perspective, more so than like the body distance. I did put a different bumper on this one as well that has a couple lights on it. I actually didn't think, I thought the lights were cosmetic and didn't, like, you turned the lights on and it just produced a certain amount of headlight. And then I noticed in another playthrough video, the guy put on, you know, crazy like rooftop rack lights, and the light was like blinding, and it was a clear, significant difference. So yeah, so lights do make a real difference. So if you see a cool light kit, now a lot of the lights interfere with the rooftop racks. Like this one, I can't put like lights on top of the cab because I can't have, there's not room, which I mean, makes sense. There's not physically room for both, so you gotta pick. So I put lights on like the front bumper. I have like a brush guard style kind of front bumper, and it has 2 lights on it. Probably more info than you needed, but if anybody else learned from watching this that the lights actually make a difference, then there you go. Alright, let's see what this is, because I don't think I've never been over here, so I don't think I've ever accepted this task. I'm not going to start it, but it's just a delivery task, it looks like. Riverside repair. Come on, Chevy. Do not get stuck now. Okay, that seems to almost have made it worse. I just went into the low plus. And again, if I had the locking differential, that would make a big difference. Because I've never used this high gear much. Or the H gear. It's not really high in the sense that it's not the fastest gear. For what I understand. I've done a little bit of research because there's like some controversy online with people that say it's for like highway speed, and it's not. Apparently it's kind of like almost like a torque multiplier, so it's useful for steep. It's slower than like the top gear in automatic, so it's not a highway gear, for the record. These narrow paths are just torture for me because I just constantly feel like I'm edging too close to the rocks, and if I hit one I'm going to roll, and if I edge too close to the edge I'm going to fall off the edge. I think we're getting close though, and then I will probably acquire the Scout, International Scout 800, and promptly roll it, knowing my luck. Yeah, it's just up here. I think there's like a house up here at the top of the hill, and the truck is there and you can just take it. It's one of those like if you find it you can have it type of missions. How awesome would it be to actually like live in a house like this that was you could only get to with a true off-road vehicle? I mean, I don't know that I want to live in that house. It looks a little run down, but there's somebody that has a very nice house at the top of a hill like this, and you can only get up there in like a real like Range Rover or something like that, like the real off-road ones, not like the mall crawler ones. All right, so can I change trucks here? I sure can. Did I turn the Chevy off? Do I need to turn the Chevy off? Let's turn it off. Let's make sure we turn it off so we don't leave it. Okay, so I've got a full tank of gas, and I mean this vehicle is just parking up here. It's not damaged, doesn't need repaired. It's just ours for the taking. I'm going to try to take this down the hill, and like I said, the entrance to the tunnel to Smithville is right here at the bottom of the hill. So I head down here, round the bend, to here, and then to Smithville Dam. So I'm going to take this over to Smithville Dam and try to find the garage before I either run out of fuel or get it stuck, and we'll see how that goes. It's such an odd vehicle. Like, it's smaller than the pickup we just got out. Like, it's an SUV and it's built like, I don't know, it's very old school, right? These are from like the 60s and 70s. So it looks like it's kind of like a Ford Bronco style SUV almost, and I think that top comes off, like everything but the windscreen. The windshield. I don't know why I said windscreen. Like, is that what like British people call it? Everything but the windshield on the top comes off. So like the whole brown part comes off the white part. Not in the game, just in real life. You can't take it off in the game. That'd be a cool like customization option, I guess, if you could like replace it with just a roll bar and have a convertible. That'd be pretty awesome. Although it rains all the time, and you know, you have to go to Alaska at some point. Okay, so that whole time up to that point, I was not in all-wheel drive. It does have a diff lock that's permanently engaged. all-wheel drive is engageable and disengageable. Okay, I gotta go really slow. Similar to the Con, not quite as bad, but similar to the Con, it seems bouncy. And it feels like it's just sort of like the overall shape of the vehicle, that it's just like this boxy cube kind of feeling vehicle. Definitely could use some more power in the headlights here. But yeah, it feels very kind of bouncy. I'm a little surprised it just mowed over that pine tree with no problem. I wonder what the real world stats for this vehicle are. Like, again, at the time... Oh no. This feels like it's really deep and going to be a problem. At the time this kind of vehicle was released, like, motors did not have a ton of horsepower. And so I imagine this thing is actually fairly underpowered in real life. Look at it just kind of like buck as I'm going like up the hill. It's just so bouncy. It's so cute though. I mean, I love this vehicle, and I know that there are people that restore them, you know, and drive them around, and there's, I'm sure, clubs and everything like that for them. They're like really popular in the real world. There's a reason why I got put in a game like this too, I'm sure. Almost just headed right into the swamp there. Alright, are we getting close to... I know that path, like, winds switchbacks up and down the mountain there. But I think we're getting close to coming out on the highway. Only used a few... Haven't even used 10 liters of fuel yet, right? I know this was mostly downhill, I guess. So that might make a difference. Alright, I think we're getting close. Because, like, the exit of this area was relatively close to the entrance. Yeah, it's right up here, I think. Alright. Here it is. Tunnels. So I haven't left this map yet, so I guess it's giving me, like, the tutorial language on tunnels. They lead to other regions. Yes, excellent. Travel to Smithville Dam. Get this nice cinematic of Smithville Dam. Oh boy. Alright, so brand new area, and I arrive in the pitch black. So, do I have any sense of where I want to go? Okay, so I feel like coming out of here, like, this is the main road, and this... I mean, there's a tower over here. Well, there's a tower over here, too. I'm going to go to the left, because it feels like that's the main road. I did just happen to notice there's a service hub right here. Is that the same as... Is the service hub a gas station? Let's try that, actually. Let's go right. And find that service hub and see if that's... I'm sorry, not a gas station. Is that near the garage? I don't know if it is or not. I don't know that I need all-wheel drive right now. One thing that is maybe not too obvious, well, with the headlights it's fairly obvious, I guess, but when you switch between regions and you go through that loading screen, it disables anything that is not, like, enabled by default. So I had on all-wheel drive and my headlights back in Black River, whatever it's called, and when I popped out in Smithville Dam, they were both disabled. So you have to turn them back on. All right. Oh. Okay. That's the service hub. That's the garage right there. So that's very lucky because I can now transfer vehicles between Black River and Smithville Dam. Vehicles, not trailers. You can't go from garage to garage with trailers. You have to take them through the tunnels. But yeah, let's head into the garage and see what we can do with this vehicle. Alright. Customize. So there are 2 engine upgrades, which take it from a C plus to a B minus. Or is that a B? Looks like a B minus. For power to weight. Fuel consumption stays superior. I think S is supposed to be like superior. Regardless, which is really nice. That's kind of rare. Usually the engine upgrades, that's the trade-off, is power versus fuel efficiency. But those are locked. I can do the SnowRunner gearbox now. I am running a little low on funds, but... Let's come back to that. Let's see what else is. Alright, so there's that. The raised suspension. See, again, that's kind of goofy. Like, it doesn't... Like, the front axle, I mean, it doesn't get any further off the ground with the raised suspension. But you raise the suspension, and then you go from 31-inch tires to 35s. I guess. Although... So there's highway tires on it right now. I can get all-terrain. Ooh. I can go all the way to off-roads. That may be a better use of my limited funds. I'll come back to that too. Let's see what else we can do. I mean, honestly, if I want to fully upgrade this vehicle and use it around this area, I probably should just sell the Chevy. And... I mean, I recover all the funds, so it's not really that big of a deal. What are the frame out on? Okay, yeah, see. Look at how much extra fuel and stuff you can carry. All right. All right. So we're back in Smithville Dam. We've sold the Chevy to generate some funds to really upgrade this International, and I'm going to use it for a while. I'm going to give it a chance. So I think, what did we say? I will go ahead and do the SnowRunner gearbox now. Doesn't really kill the fuel consumption like on some of them. That's locked. Tires, I'm going to go to all the way to off-road. And I'm going to do 35. So I can do 39s. But I have to have the lift. Okay, so that, I mean, that makes a big difference when you start to think about putting the lift and then you put like tires like this on it. So... I may have to do some research and find out where that lift is if I want to use this vehicle for a while. I'm going to do the autonomous winch. I know it's like $10,000, but it has saved me enough, and I can sell... Yeah, can I sell my other tires and everything too? Yeah. Oh, I have 2 sets of these. So one thing I've noticed in this playthrough and previously is as you acquire... I don't think I'm going to do the spare wheel. As you acquire items for different trucks, if they're like similar, you end up like, I've been in there and seen like I have 3 sets of tires that I can sell. All right, there's no snorkel yet. So wading depth is going to be a bit of a problem. And these are locked. Oh my gosh. That's locked at level 11 just to get a snorkel for this truck. That kind of stinks. I feel like kind of like no wonder people don't drive this vehicle when like a base short snorkel is locked at level 11. I mean, I got a snorkel that was like as tall as the roof of the Chevy already, and I'm only at rank 4 or 5. That's kind of frustrating. I don't want horns. Those are... I tend to like to leave... Ooh, wait. Oh, no. I already have the... I was looking at the lights on the roof rack and wondering if that was part of the visor, but those were already on there. I kind of like the visor. Oh, it's locked. Doesn't matter. No one cares what you like. It's locked. And see, this is what I was talking about. So if I want to do fog lights, I can't have the equipment up there, and I want the equipment. So, yeah. I kind of tend to like the stock stuff, honestly. Yeah. All right, let's paint this thing. I tend to like the variations on the original, like the original colors. Oh man, I kind of like that. I don't know. This is so tough. Let's. These are all so awesome. They're so like classic of the era too. Like that's not just blue and that's not just orange. Like that is definitely like 60s blue and orange. Let's do blue. All right. We are good. It's time to head out. And we will go explore Smithville Dam next time. Thanks for watching. Please give me a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed this content very early in this channel. I think that makes a huge difference. And I certainly would appreciate it knowing that people are enjoying the content. I will see you next time. Thanks.